Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Buchanan. Today I'll be talking about Chapter 11 of Leadership and Communication Perspective. This chapter covers the ethical leadership and followership, and so being ethical in both positions and what it takes and what to look out for when you're employing or you're an employee, and if your boss is an ethical person or not. So we'll dive right in to the challenge of information management. Basically, it talks about like damage control within companies and how should you go about going part of a crisis when somebody fucks up in a certain sense, and this has to be kind of investigated through all levels of the operation. And so this talks about like the virtues of telling the truth and lying when going through these investigations, or reasons why we're losing money, or reasons why there's spots in the books and the accounting's off. Obviously, that's a clear infraction of ethical and moral deeds, because cooking the books is one, incredibly illegal and will end a company and also ruin a lot of people's lives and send people to prison. So we're gonna go back into what kind of makes us a people, and like what we do as human beings every day. And so we'll talk about lies. So most ethical experts agree that lying is wrong because, one, it damages the character of the liar by supplanting such virtues as honesty and consistency, and two, damages organizational performance by destroying trust, lowering employee job satisfaction, driving out ethical workers, undermining the group's reputation, and corrupting the flow of information required for decisions and coordinating events. So basically, it is a one-way ticket to completely dismantling a whole organization. If somebody is lying, they basically lose all their credibility as a worker or a leader. And if they're an employee, they'll immediately get fired, and they really are like a one-man wrecking crew within the organization, because anyone that's under them or above them has trusted them, and they've been provided with false information that basically slows everybody down, and in the end makes the company lose money, depending on the situation. Well, in all situations, it would cause the company money. And so this just basically is cancer within an organization. You have to cut it out immediately. But lying is really just the worst thing you can do. Kind of going to other things is, when it comes to the challenge of information management, leaders cast more shadow than light when they lie, particularly for selfish ends. So they're covering their own ass, and they're not sticking their necks out there for the company and really taking accountability for their actions. To use information solely for personal benefit, right? They're just trying to make more money or try to up their own ladder and their agenda to get higher up in the corporate ladder. Three, deny having knowledge that is in their possession. So not even taking responsibility, not even holding themselves accountable to take the consequences and really man or woman up into the act and the mistake that they made. Another one is gather data in a way that violates privacy rights. So basically, intimidating workers, trying to get them to tell you about certain things, about what's going on within an organization in a very inappropriate way, using intimidation or throwing contracts in their face and saying, you need to sign this, and this is the only way we can do this, and just basically using a fear tactic. That's an example I can really think of. Withhold information the followers legitimately need. So literally holding people back from doing their jobs because you messed up somewhere, and if you do it a certain way, it's going to just completely, make you look like a bad person, when really you can just say, I messed up, and you can correct yourself, and people will have more respect for you than that. And it's funny because it's humans are so scared to tell the truth and hold themselves accountable. They will lie and manufacture all these different ways of trying to get around it to save their own ass, when really if they just told the truth and said, I messed up, and this is what I'm going to do to correct it, people are going to still follow them, because everybody makes mistakes. We're all human. So there's no sense in lying. I mean, and it's on your conscience as well, and you always have to look over your shoulder when you lie. The challenge of responsibility goes into like the more leader aspect of it. So is this leader an ethical person that makes decisions basically on where the employees are at, what the company needs to do, what the quota is being met? And of course, the leader is going to have to balance their decisions, because you can't focus too much on the employees, or not too much, or too much on the organization and not enough on the employees. You have to be able to balance, because sometimes you do have to let employees go. But I think the chapter just talks about is consistency. if you're consistent and you're a consistent leader and you do the right thing and you do what you're supposed to do, but at the same time you take care of your employees and you take care of the people that are under you, you really can't go wrong. Now everyone's gonna like what you have to say, but if you're consistent, people will follow you and they'll at least respect you enough to know that you don't flip flop, or you'll take someone's side one day, but then the next day you're gonna throw them under the bus. As long as you stay consistent, you stay truthful, you have a moral compass and an ethical foundation of yourself, you really can't go wrong. But if you start going down the path of, lying and trying to, do shortcuts, it's a one-way ticket to one, losing a job, or two, if you're the owner of a business, losing it. So I hope everybody enjoyed this chapter, and you guys have a great night. Thank you.